everybody, this is Taylor from ATAGO here in Japan. Today you're joining me for a webinar on our new product release for the CM-BASEa-MAX Inline Refractometer. I'll go ahead and get started with a quick presentation. I'll do a quick video so we can compare the newer model versus the older model. And if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat on the side so that I can get to them. I think a lot of you will be watching this afterwards, so if you have questions after watching this video, please send us an email at overseas@atago.net and we'll be able to help you out. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay. So this is CM-BASEa-MAX Inline Refractometer. It's newly released, new model that we just came out with. In case you have stumbled across this webinar and you don't know what an inline refractometer is already, an inline refractometer is an instrument that you will install into your system for automation of concentration measurements. So you install it in and it automatically takes the measurements for you. You don't have to have a person go over there and do anything at all. It measures in real time, so it's a continuous measurement taking process. And you can view that information right on the inline refractometer display, or you can output the data to your PLC, programmable logic controller, or any other type of computer system via RS-232C or 4 to 20 milliamp, which is recorder output. So having an inline refractometer in your system saves on time and labor costs and helps you catch mistakes in production quicker. So really, really handy tool to have installed in your system. So why does ATAGO now have the CM-BASEa-MAX? Well, we do have an introductory inline refractometer line, and the CM-BASEa-MAX just fits in there perfectly because it has a little bit of different specifications in terms of measurement range and accuracy and temperature than the other ones. I'll go over that later so that we can kind of see the differences a little bit more in detail so that when you're picking out the inline refractometer that you need, that you can easily choose between the models. Also, why we have the CM-BASEa-MAX specifically is because we have some customers that want to go for our CM-800 Alpha inline refractometer that's been kind of the standard for ATAGO. A lot of customers, when they think inline refractometer, they think CM-800 Alpha, and for some customers, this price point that the CM-800 Alpha is at is a little bit above their budget or what they can do. Maybe they have a lot of systems at their factory and the CM-800 Alpha is a little bit too high of a cost to put on all of the machines, so they'd like something a little bit less expensive. But maybe the specifications for a less expensive model don't quite meet their needs. So the CM-BASEa-MAX should fit kind of right in there as a good alternative for those types of customers. So let's see here. Let's go over kind of the differences between the older model and the newer model. So I have the older one here on the side, the CM-BASEa regular one. You can already tell that design-wise they are a lot different. CM-BASEa-MAX is made with different materials and it has a transparent body type, which is actually kind of cool as the end user for you to see kind of what's going on inside. But if you have any questions about durability or whatnot, really they are the same in durability. They have the same type of materials that are going to be used for the sample stage, which is the part that's actually going to be coming in contact with the sample, so you won't have to worry about that. I guess in case you really already know a lot about the CM-BASEa, you'll know that a lot of the information about the instrument is written on the side seal here. But actually on the newer CM-BASEa-MAX, hopefully you can see without the glare there, but all of the information, like for the serial number and the model name and the date it was made and the type of output for electricity, is actually just all written on the front of the instrument for design purposes. Also, a difference that you would probably want to note for the CM-BASEa-alpha is that the older models only had one type of data output depending on what you choose. So earlier I mentioned it was RS-232C or 4 to 20 milliamp, but actually the newer CM-BASE models will have both of the data output in one, so you can choose between them. So when you get the newer model, you'll get this newer cable that has all of the data output wires that you need for both types. So just looking at the instruments, you can kind of see the differences here, but really in terms of installation and whatnot, it's going to be the same. So just a little bit of a difference in specifications and the material change, but in terms of how to use it, it's the same, so you won't have to worry about that. Okay, so let's continue on with the presentation here. Okay, so let's look closer at the CM-BASE models in the CM-BASE-alpha series so that we can see kind of the difference. So the first table I have gives the range in bricks, temperature compensation range, and then also the accuracy. So on the very left, you see CM-BASE-alpha. That's our most introductory model for this series, and we'll have a bricks range of 0 to 33% bricks. So as long as your sample falls within 0 and 33, then you can use this instrument to measure. For temperature compensation, it will go from 10 to 50 degrees C. So you'll want to make sure that your sample stays within that temperature range. If your sample goes outside of that temperature range, say it's all of a sudden 60 degrees C or 70, it's not going to harm the instrument or break anything. It just means that your measurement values aren't going to be as accurate, so try to keep your sample within that measurement range. Then CM-BASE-alpha will also have an accuracy of plus or minus 0.5%. So that accuracy is around the range of a handheld instrument. So if you're already using a handheld refractometer, then it should be reading very closely to around that accuracy. So let's say that you are a customer that happens to have a higher temperature sample and also a higher concentration of a sample, then you're going to want to look at the middle one, which is CM-BASE-alpha plus, because that one has a widened measurement range from 0 to 93%, and then also has temperature compensation wider as well from 10 to 95 degrees. You still have the accuracy of plus or minus 0.5%, so it's still going to read like your handheld refractometer would. So moving to the very right for CM-BASEa-MAX. So this is what I was talking about, where it fits in very well for customers that need a little bit more than what was previously offered for the other models, but they can't quite go up to the level of CM-800-alpha. So CM-BASEa-MAX has the widened measurement range of 0 to 93% bricks, so you're totally covered. Has the widened temperature range of 10 to 95 degrees C as well, but it has a little bit higher of an accuracy of plus or minus 0.2%. So a lot of times if you're controlling a little bit lower concentration samples, or maybe you're working in food or something, you want to have a little bit higher of an accuracy. So the CM-BASEa-MAX is a good way for you to go. And if we're looking at the CM-800-alpha, which has an accuracy of plus or minus 0.1%, yes, it doesn't quite go up as nice as the CM-800-alpha, but it gets pretty close at plus or minus 0.2%. As well, temperature is not quite as wide of a temperature range as CM-800 alpha, but CM-BASEa-MAX gets really close to that as well. So this is a really great model. Like I said, if you really need to have an inline refractometer, but you have a little bit lower of a budget. For the second table, we have just some similar specifications. So that's just going to show you that across all of the models, they have the same type of data output, power supply, materials that they're made with, and IP rating. So in terms of installation, it was just like all of our other inline refractometers. And we actually, on our ATAGO Lab Meetup YouTube channel, have a lot of other webinars that we've done for the inline process meters that go over the benefits to them, the different types of installation methods, accessories, if you need anything for cleaning, things like that. So I really recommend that you take a quick trip over to our page, look for these 3 specific webinars if you're looking for an inline refractometer. Okay, so this was super quick, to the point. If there are any questions, I will answer them now. Do we have anything?
No.
Okay, not. I will give you a few seconds if there's anybody that really just wants to pop in their question really quick. But like I said, if you do have questions later on, please feel free to email us at overseas@atago.net and we will be happy to help you. We have loads and loads of other webinars on our YouTube channel page, so please check them out. You can subscribe to see what we're coming up with next and get alerts for when we go live. With that being said, any last second questions?
No.
Nope? Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining today, and we will see you at the next webinar. Bye-bye.